Hi there, how's it going? It's Miguel here from Illuggin Photo and Video. I just wanted to take some time to say thank you again for tuning into this video, in my weekly post on, how did I take that photo? So I'm going to be going over this video here on my left. It's basically of some monkeys at Auckland Zoo. Going over some settings with you, how do I take the photo, and hope you enjoy. So one of the settings I'm going to discuss is about using the f-stop or the aperture in the camera. So this is pretty much how wide the camera lens opens when it does take the photo. Now when you do have images where the subject, like this one in particular, you want to isolate them from the background, so pretty much make the background blurred, you do want to use quite a large aperture. So this means when you are taking the image, essentially when the lens opens, the aperture is quite big. This basically enables you to get some nice background blur and isolate the subject from your background. Just note it does depend on the lens that you do use. For your maximum f-stop, your aperture opening, generally I use a number of about f4.0, lower if you can, such as f2.8. Essentially the lower the number, that means the wider the lens opening and you're able to get more blur and more shallow depth of field. Okay, so in regards to composition of the image, as you can see here in this portrait photo, I've placed one monkey in the left portion of the frame and other in the right portion of the frame. Essentially, I have placed them in the center of the frame, right in the middle. So when you are doing this, it enables the viewer, when they are looking at the photo, to have their focus like right on the subject itself. There's nothing too distracting in the background, and it's quite simple composition. So anytime you are, say, doing sort of portrait photos, try to keep the subject right in the middle and not on the sides of the image. That way the eye is drawn right onto the subject and just gives a lot more impact on the photo itself. If you do include the face in the subject material, try to have the face sort of at the top portion of the image, sort of the top third, if you're dividing your images into thirds. That way the eye is drawn to the actual eyes of the subject, and then as you can see, the subject is looking out to the side of the frame. That way your eye is sort of drawn to the face and then it's leaning out to the side. Also, in regards to the framing of the image, I decided to use the branch at the bottom 2/3 of the photo. Just help frame the subject, to have something to put them on, and to give context that they are in the outdoors. They are, animals of nature, and that they are sort of resting there, just relaxing, having a look out, and gives them a sense of feel, sense of vibrancy, that they are in the outdoors. In terms of your subject, try to always have context for them. Don't go in too close as far as what's in the frame. Include a bit of context, and it just helps for a better image. Okay, so in terms of shutter speed, so this is how much length of time the lens does open when the when you are taking the photo. For this one, generally I recommend something above, say, 500th of a second. This way you are able to obtain nice and sharp images, minimizing your amount of blur, and just the image is a lot sharper and clearer. Along with shutter speed as well, do try to set your ISO, the camera sensors sensitivity to light. This way you are able to use the fastest shutter speed possible that you can, given your lens opening. You always want to maximize how quickly, in terms of the shutter speed, you can obtain. Basically, the higher the shutter speed, the better. And if your lens does offer image stabilization or in your camera's body, definitely use that all the time, because it will mean really sharper images. Higher shutter speed as well as a stabilization makes for really great images. Nowadays, I don't take any photos without stabilization. basically because my shots are a lot sharper and clearer, especially at high resolutions, and when you bump it up and just zoom in all the way, it just yeah, my image is just a lot clearer. Another thing to also consider, just note where your actual natural light source is coming from. So sort of just look around where you are standing relative to the sun. Generally, you always want the sun behind you. That way your subject will be front lit, because obviously you're facing the subject, and when you're facing the subject, so the sun is going to be hitting it like that. So as you can see, if I turn my head, it's going to be darker if it's going from this way. So obviously the light, my studio light is there, so sun coming from this way, or your light source. Basically you want your subject as much as possible. Like in this case, I guess we have the animals to be lit up. I chose the angle so that essentially the faces of the animals are quite lit. So it's very nice because you can see the facial structure, especially the eyes, and then you can get a really nice covering of the light, especially ambient light on the face. And essentially you just play with the actual shutter speed to make sure you are able to capture the natural light, and have the light filling the faces of your subject. Another thing I like to mention as well is to set your camera mode correctly in your camera. So I use a Canon 40D when I do my shots. So there's an image I like to use. It's called aperture priority. So essentially this is where the camera will set everything else aside from aperture by itself. So I like to set it at about f4. This way, for an image like this, the background is going to be blurred out. That way you can isolate the subject and essentially make the background blurred, which is really cool. So yeah, use aperture mode, and then the camera, it'll basically set the shutter speed by itself. Another thing I would suggest to use, if you do have it, is to use a tripod. This way you get the most stable images. You have a platform to put your camera on, either tripod or monopod. That way you in terms of when, instead of just holding the camera like this, you do get a bit of camera shake. So by placing it on the platform, it just allows for a lot more stability and reduce camera shake when you get your images. So that's it for today on how did I take that image. If you have any questions at all on how to, in terms of your images that you want to take, not sure how to get outdoor photos or sports or anything at all, please don't hesitate to put comments in the comment sections below, and I welcome any questions you have on any imagery that you want to get, photos, videos, just any questions at all, and I'd be more than happy to make another video for you and answer any questions that you have. So Miguel here from Elegant Photo Video again. Enjoy your week and happy shooting.